Good morning, everyone. And how are we today? The sun is shining here by me, but I'm feeling today. Oh God. Oh. Yeah. Lessons learned. Lessons learned. That's how it goes. Okay. Right. Let me get the screen on so you can see me. Hi, and welcome to my stream. If you've not been here before, my name is Candy, or otherwise known as Existential AFK, and today I'm just chatting. So usually Sundays I use for just chatting, sometimes doing some of my digital art, but mostly just chatting about the week and life and all of that sort of stuff. So if you want to join in, please feel free to do so. Just chat whatever, type whatever you want to in the chat. You're more than welcome to ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer. And yeah, here we are. Sunday morning. Morning full of regret. Just having a sip of my cup of tea. So, where do I start? I've been reflecting on this week that's gone by, and on yesterday, and I've realized that I have gotten into my old habit of pushing myself too much past what I am capable of, and that has resulted in me lashing out at others. And so I feel regret about that, because I think that if I hadn't been so overstimulated, that I would have reacted in a different way to the people that I interacted with yesterday. So if I interacted with you yesterday, I apologize. If I caused any offense or anything like that, it was not what I was meaning to do. And it's no excuse, but it was a tough week, and I just didn't give myself time. Hi, Parisa. I just didn't give myself time to process what I dealt with during the week. I think it was. I kind of, greetings, Maxon. I think I just dismissed the seriousness of what happened during the week, because I kind of wanted to avoid it and pretend it didn't happen. And so that then carried on through the weekend. I had so much fun, Parisa, with our game yesterday. I really had a blast. I just reached my limit and I just couldn't play anymore, so I had to call it a day. But I definitely would like to try again, and this time I'll make sure that my controller is plugged in, and hopefully that will be easier. I just need to um, get it all sorted. So we'll definitely try again. And yeah, feel free to play it with others on stream if you want to. You don't have to just play it with me. But yeah, I'd like us to continue the one that we were doing, see if we can finish it. We were 19%. Oh God. If you didn't see our stream yesterday, go watch the VOD. It is absolutely, I'm sure, hilarious. I haven't watched it. I actually want to watch it because I think it's probably going to be an absolute laugh. Yeah, it was. It took us. It's a game that's supposed to take you an hour, and it took us 2.5 hours to get to 19% in the game. So, yeah, it was fun. Like I knew it would be a challenge, so that's why I chose it because I thought it would be something that would really have to work at it, and I thought that's a good thing to do because if you always do things that are easy for you, then life gets boring, right? So you've got to do things that challenge yourself, and you learn a lot about yourself as well when you challenge yourself. um so I feel that's very important. And I also feel like people nowadays, I don't know if you picked that up, Parisa, but um now in this day and age, especially with the younger generation, they tend to just give up so easily. Like they struggle a little bit with something and then they just give up. And I don't know if it's just some of them or all of them, but I have noticed that it's quite common. And I don't know if the education system failed them or, I don't know why that is. But that's what I've sort of noticed. And while we were playing the game, um, I think somebody made a comment about it being too difficult, they won't play it or something like that. And yeah, you did educate. It is a mess. Yeah, that game is there's lots of issues with it. But I mean, it's a small game, right? I mean, it was only like £5 to buy it, I think it was, or something like that. So it's a small game. There's a lot of work that they need to do on it um, to fix it. But unless they make enough sales to make it worth it, it's not really worth the time and effort to fix it, is it? But it's a fun little game, and really recommend you play it on with the PS controller. Don't try it on the keyboard. It's disastrous. Because you have to press multiple buttons at the same time on the keyboard, and you have to change the direction of the buttons that you're pressing depending on where the feet of your character is facing, and yeah, it's very complicated. So if you just want to play it and have fun playing it, I'd say a controller is probably the best option with that. So yeah, so I was just reflecting on my week and the toll that my week took on me, and that I didn't acknowledge that, and I just tried to push ahead. And that again is like my old pattern. That's my old natural pattern that I fall into, and I have to work very hard not to do that. Oh, hello, Miss Stoiler. Hello. Nice to see. I like the birds. They're so cute. Look at that. And I pushed myself to, well, not to my limits, but over my limits. And then I took it out on some people yesterday, and I'm really sorry about that. Because when I get pushed to my limit, I get very irritable and snappy, and I don't listen when people are talking to me. Because I can't process it. Like, it's not like I purposefully don't listen. It's just that my brain is so overwhelmed that I can't listen. It's like I can't, it's like the information goes in, but I can't process the information, if that makes sense. I don't know if any of you guys experience this, um, but that's something I've realized. It's not that I like actively choose not to be present and not to listen to the person. It's just that I can't. I literally can't. And the more I can't, and the more people say to me, you should listen, the more upset I get and agitated and confused, and then I lash out as a result. Um, but I also do think that um, that sometimes people, like when I say something to a person, they don't actually truly listen to me. As much as they accuse me of not listening to them, there are a lot of times when they don't listen to me and I'm communicating the best way I can in that moment. And I'm saying, just I need quiet, I need time to think, I need time to figure out what I'm doing here. And I could say that like several times and the person just doesn't like do what I'm asking them to do. And I don't know if that's just the way I'm communicating it, and maybe I'm not communicating it clearly enough. But at that point in time, I just don't have the energy to try and find a different way of communicating it. I'm communicating it in the best way I can in that moment. So yeah, um, and I think it comes from like me not like acknowledging my limits and making sure that not pushing myself when I'm at my limits, but also I think it's from other people's side. It's other people need to learn that I'm not always going to communicate the way that they want me to communicate with them, and they need to learn how I communicate when I'm overwhelmed, and to be able to go, okay, she's communicating in this way, she's overwhelmed, I need to keep quiet, I need to just give her space to just figure things out and like process things, and then when she needs my input, she'll ask me for it. um, and I think that's a conversation that I need to have with people, that um, I'm not always going to be the one that's compromising anymore. Like it's always been me doing a lot of compromising, and part of me sort of being able to unmask and be more myself is me having to tell those people that I'm not going to compromise like I used to. Like that's not going to happen anymore. And they need to make more of an effort to learn about me and how I display things when I am struggling, and they need to then learn how to notice those cues. And but I need to tell them that, because I haven't told them that. They've not done that, so they don't know. So I need to have a conversation and just say, listen, this is what I need from you. People aren't going to always do everything the way that you need them to do it, but at least if they try, that's important. But I need to tell people that, because I have a tendency not to tell people that kind of stuff. Sometimes I just assume that they know. Other times I just don't like think of it. It just doesn't enter my thought pattern. Perez has said, seems there is a whole lot more of the game to come, but it'd be nice for them to focus on keyboard use, because oh my lord, yeah. I think that's, if they're gonna do some repair on that game, they definitely need to sort out the keyboard thing. That's definitely, I think they should make that the priority, because that makes it more accessible, right? Because not everybody has controllers. Most people actually don't. And a lot of people like me who are dyspraxic don't like struggle with controllers. I really struggle to use a controller. But the fact that I'm saying that I would use a controller with that game tells you a lot about how bad it is doing it with the keyboard. That I would prefer to use a controller, which I usually struggle a lot with. So that says a lot. I get what you're saying. What I perceive and see is not always reflective of what's being taken in. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's understanding the the differences between you and the other person that you're with. And I think it's important to that clear communication happens between both parties to understand how the other person needs to be communicated with, and say, okay, how best can I communicate with you? And and for like both parties to do that, because I think if people both understand how they need to be communicating with each other, they're more likely to find a middle ground where communication is easier, I think. Not perfect, but definitely easier. And that's something I need to work on. I need to work on having those kinds of conversations with people and saying, when I am like overwhelmed, this is how I need you to interact with me. This is what I need from you. And, what do you need from me when I'm in that state? Like how do you need me to communicate that I'm in that state to you? So it's important for me to communicate that to others, like I'm in this overwhelmed state, and then it's clear, it's good for them to know how to interact with me when I'm in that state. So we can still spend time together without setting each other off, basically, and pushing each other's buttons. And that's something that's going to take a long time to learn. That's not like an easy thing to do. And yeah, and I need to learn more to say no to people. That's also something I'm working on. I need to learn to understand my limits energy wise, like how much am I capable of doing in a day. Because I'm used to doing like 1,000 times more than I'm capable of. So I need to really back that up. So understanding my limitations, but also get better at communicating things to people. And getting better at saying like no, even though I really want to do things with people, learning to say no, and saying today I'm just not capable of doing that. I'm just not feeling it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm sorry to cancel at the last minute, but can we reschedule for another day? And I think communicating that to others and saying, okay, sometimes I might contact you on the day and say that I don't have the resources to be able to spend time with you, and that's not because I don't want to spend time with you. It's not got anything to do with you. It's just that I've pushed myself past my limitations, and so I need to pull things back, and I need to take a rest and give myself time to refill my battery. So yeah, so that's something I need to really, really work hard on, I think. And I've let it slide recently, and I need to not do that. Yeah, I've seen a message from my workplace. I haven't read it, but I know exactly what they're going to ask me to do. They're going to ask me to work an extra day. And usually I would go, yeah, of course, because I need the money, and also because I want to please people. I want to make them happy. I want to help. But yeah, I can't do that. So I'm going to have to say no to them. And yeah, it's going to be very difficult for me. Very difficult for me to do. But it needs to be done because I can't work an extra day. Like, yeah, it was a tough week. It was a tough week. I had a I don't know if I should tell you guys. It's probably gonna make you sad if I tell you. I don't know, you tell me if you want to know. What happened, but yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Seems there's a whole lot of... Okay, I've read that one. I get what you're saying. What happened? Yep, yeah. So yeah, so that's what I'm reflecting on this morning, is my actions, my behavior, my assumptions and beliefs around things, and trying to be better at communicating with people, so that I can still spend time with them even when my reserves are low, but it's, you know, I can manage it because of the way that they're them understanding and interacting with me in a slightly different way. But yeah, Pariza, it wasn't it's not you that I'm talking about, just in case you were wondering. It's my brother. Like, I need to get better at communicating with my brother about stuff. Yeah. It's hard because we're both autistic. And yeah, figuring out the best way to communicate with each other is something we're both learning. And I am changing, and you know, of course, when you're autistic, change is upsetting and it's difficult to acknowledge, and it's difficult to adapt your behavior to that change. I did warn my brother that I would be changing, but I need to communicate with him how I'm changing. And I had no idea how I was changing. I was figuring that out. So I think I have a more clear way, like understanding of how I'm changing. And so that means I'll have a more clear understanding of how I need to communicate that with him. Because unless he understands how I'm changing, I won't, like, he won't be able to adapt his behavior as a result, if that makes sense. Like, his communication with me in those moments when I'm overwhelmed. So it's not his fault, it's not my fault, it's not either of our faults. It's just both of our autism and my ADHD coming out, and our lack of understanding of autism and ADHD, frankly, because, you know, this is only something that me and him have been learning about recently. Like, we have a massive lack of understanding of like autism in general and ADHD in general, but also of the way it displays in each other. And how to best communicate with each other. And it's an issue with my dad as well, and me and my friends as well. But I think the main issue is, well, the main one I want to concentrate on is with my brother, because my brother is the person I'm the closest with, and he is the one that I tend to communicate the most with, because I'm closest to him than I am to anyone else. And so I need to get my communication sorted with him, because that's going to make my life so much easier. It's going to make his life so much easier if we find that balance in our communication with one another. And then that will make it easier for me then to translate that to others, because my brother is really good at helping me to... Hi, Vermo! My brother is really good at helping me to be better at like more direct communication with people. He can help me with that. He's really good at explaining that to me. But I need to help him understand so that he can then help me to be better able to communicate. So it is quite tricky. And you know, we're both still learning, and we both still need a lot of education about autism and ADHD, and we both need to still learn about ourselves, and understand ourselves, and what is our autism and what is just personality traits, and how to communicate with each other in a positive, like in the best way that we can. I think not in a positive way, but like in the best way we can, because not all communication is positive, right? But I feel like the better we get at communicating, the easier it will be for us to be around each other and to be able to unmask around each other, be more our natural selves. And that's something that we both want to do. We both want to unmask more of ourselves and be more natural with each other. And that's going to take work, I think. But yeah, it's a journey, and you know, we're working hard with each other. So, you know, and I don't want people thinking that I'm like criticizing my brother and saying that, you know, he's not doing enough, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying what I've noticed with regards to our communication with each other. And we're both struggling to communicate in the way that each other understands. And that's important for me to understand his perspective so I can better communicate it with him and where he's coming from, and also not let my frustration get in the way, because I get really frustrated and irritable when he's not communicating with me in the way that I need to be communicated with. But what I need to understand is that he's not purposefully doing that. That, you know, like he doesn't understand what I need in that moment, and that's what I need to do. That's my issue. My issue is I need to communicate what I need from him in that situation. So that's on me. So I'm reflecting on like how he's interacting with me and what I need to do to make that interaction better. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm communicating that in the right way. But yeah, and I need to do that with my friends as well. And yeah, it's a work in progress. It's going to be a long process, because this is like, you know, this is 40 years of programming that I'm trying to undo. You know, it's not going to happen just in a, you know, couple of months, or you know, technically sort of a year to 2 years since I've started my recovery journey and learned that I was autistic and have ADHD, and you know, and getting diagnosed and all of that sort of stuff. You know, I have no idea that, like, well, I had no idea that a lot of my things that I do are because of my autism or my ADHD. And so I'm still trying to sift through what is a personality thing and what is my autism and what is my ADHD. Because each of those things need to be dealt with in a different way. Because part of my personality, I need to decide, well, is that a part of my personality that I like or dislike? And if it's a part of my personality that I like, then I won't change it. If it's a part of my personality that I dislike, I'll work on it. If it's my autism, then I need to understand why it happens and what I can do to support myself in that situation to make it easier for my autistic brain to cope with, basically. So that so my system doesn't get activated and then I start to get into fight or flight or freeze mode. And if it's my ADHD, there are tools, like practical tools that I can use to help to manage that, so lessen the impact of my ADHD, so that it's easier for me to then be able to do the things that I need to do without it feeling like I'm trying to push a boulder up a hill. You know, like I'm trying to achieve the impossible every day. You know, so yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to work with. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to think about. Process. Communication is one of the harder things to do, and it takes time. But it's good that you're taking steps. Yeah, yeah. I used to think that I was good at communicating, but I realized that in some ways I am. Like in the sense of I am very good at communicating with my brother and my dad about why people react in certain ways when they interact with my brother and my dad, and like why they react the way that they do when, you know, when my brother says a certain thing or does a certain thing. But what I kind of forgot to do was explain to him how to interact with me. So I spent so much time helping him to learn to interact with others and understand others. I spent no time helping him to do that with me. And so that is the issue. But first I need to figure out myself, and I need to understand myself in order to know how I need to be communicated with. And then I need to teach him the same as I did and I do, you know, about others. I need to teach him about myself, and when I am like this is the reason why. When I am not, you know, like when you think I'm not listening, it's because I'm overwhelmed, overstimulated, and I can't take the information in. You can talk to me till the sun comes up, but I'm not going to take in that information. Like, it's just not, my brain's just not going to process it because I'm overwhelmed. And I need time to be able to concentrate, and it's going to take me energy to concentrate on what you're saying, to focus enough to actually take it in. And then it's going to take my autistic brain time to process it and understand it, and how I feel about it, and whether I want to, you know, change it or not change it, or talk about it or not talk about it. And then I can communicate about it. So yeah, so that's my, you know, like, thing that I need to do for him. Like, I need to help him to understand me. But in order to do that, I need to understand myself. So yeah. Very kind of complicated, but also not complicated. Yeah. Yeah, so that's me this morning, on a Sunday morning. I'm having a lot of reflection. That's why I wait to spend a Sunday morning. How are you guys doing? What have you guys been up to this weekend? I'd love to know. I really would. By the way, Miss Stoiler, I'm loving the emojis, especially the little blanket one. It's so cute. So cute. Oh, I love emojis. Like, if I could just communicate in GIFs and emojis for the rest of my life, I would love to do that. It's so much easier for me to do it like that than it is for me to express myself verbally or in writing. I've actually started doing that with some of my friends. I've said to them, I'm going to send you, um, you know, GIFs and emojis rather than words. See, I completely understand that. Like when I see the emojis, I'm like, nodding head. Vermo. Yeah, so nodding head. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I totally understand that. Like that's not difficult for me to understand. Doing good. Just been playing around with the model, working on an alt. Oh, is that an alt for you? So you're going to have another character, or is that for somebody else? Because yeah, I've seen you do a lot of work on like a virtual VTuber Parisa, which is really interesting. I've downloaded, you know, VBridger. I've downloaded VBridger, so I need to learn how to use that, but I'm not going to do that this weekend because, like I said, I had a tough week. Alt for you. Yeah, I'm interested to know what your alt's going to be like. Very intrigued. Very, very intrigued. VBridger. So VBridger is a program that goes with Tuber, V Studio. Sorry, VTube Studio. So it goes alongside with VTube Studio, and it helps you with movement, better movement of your character. So it helps you to be able to really make more expressive facial expressions, and also arm and leg movements as well. A lot of the VTubers that you see that have really good movement of their very expressive movement of their faces and their bodies, that if you look down in their not comments, but like where you like accredit somebody who's helped you in that section, a lot of them have VBridger listed. So yeah, VTuber. Like Chewbacca. That would be cool if somebody did like a Chewbacca was a Chewbacca. That would be so cool. I would totally watch that. Right. Like how do what's the noise he makes? Something like something like that. I'm terrified making that noise. Oh god. Yeah, that would be amazing. But you know, VTuber. Yes, I have. There is actually somebody who is doing what is it? I think it's a cobra, like it's an animal. What's it? Something cobra. Oh, dang it. I hate it when I've got something in my head and I can't get it out. Chupacabra or something like that. It's like an animal, an actual animal like that, and they have a VTube account with that. But yeah, it would be cool if you had a VTuber Cobra. That would be amazing. Like a little Star Wars VTuber, like with little like offset characters from Star Wars. That would be amazing. I would totally watch that. I love Star Wars. That's like But I love the original Star Wars. I watched that so many times with my brother growing up. We had the VHS. Yes, I said it. I said the dreaded word VHS, which most people don't understand what a VHS is. Do you guys understand what a VHS is? Points for the winner. I can't like to me is like it's so funny when I hear that people don't know what a VHS is. I'm like, holy moly. You know what VHS is? Winners, winners, winners. See? I've got an awesome chat. You guys know it all. Yeah, so it was videos. Yeah, that's what I used to rent, not DVDs, videos initially. And then we went into DVDs. But initially, when I was a kid, we used to watch videos. And my brother had the original Star Wars videos. And we used to watch them over and over and over again. And I absolutely loved the Ewoks. They were my favorite. I adored them. Absolutely adored them. And their little Ewok song. I actually found it the other day. I was looking at I put on YouTube Music. What was it? Like old like Disney's theme songs for Disney like programs, like Tailspin and DuckTales and Gummy Bears and all of those sort of things that I grew up with. And they ended up playing the Ewok song. And I was like, oh my god, I'd totally forgotten about this. So I'm obsessed again with the Ewok song. Yeah, I absolutely loved them. And I was devastated when they got attacked and killed. I was so upset every time that happened. Um, but I absolutely loved them. I loved them, and I loved Chewbacca, and I loved R2D2. Like, those are my three most favorite characters. Fun fact, Disney has made new DuckTales. Yes, I know. Because some of the DuckTales, let's just say some of the content that I watched as a kid would cause cancellation of programs in this day and age. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I think it's important that they do update a lot of these old programs, because the old programs had so many good values that they taught, like so many good values. I learned so much about social interaction and just values in general from the programs that I watched as a kid. But there's some offensive stuff in there as well. And so they need to take out. But I think they should leave a lot of the stuff that was originally there, because that taught so many important lessons. And I think kids could really do with those lessons nowadays, because I feel like in a lot of the programs out now, they just don't teach that stuff. And that's just so important. Like, social interaction is like the most important thing for human survival. If you cannot socially interact with others and communicate and things like that, then yeah, you'll suffer. We are social creatures, and we need to be able to do that. But we need to be able to do that in the right way. And I feel like nowadays people are just all about cancel, cancel, cancel. And it's like, well, just because somebody's got an opposing view to you doesn't mean that now that their view is not valid or legitimate, and that your view is right. But I think it's very much this is my view and my view is right, and I'm not willing to listen to anyone to change it. It's just like, this is what I believe and this is fact. And it's like, well, actually, is it fact? Like, where are you getting these views from? are they actually based on facts? And that's really something very important that my brother taught me. Trust people, but verify facts. So trust people are being genuine when they're saying something, because they probably really believe that what they're telling you is the right thing. But verify that what they're saying is the right thing is important, because a lot of times people will trust the wrong people and get the wrong information, inaccurate, false information, and then they will treat that information as fact where it's not, and that will then inform their reactions and interactions with others, and that can lead to issues with communication. Do you know that actually now the biggest thing that employers look for in job interviews is not qualifications, it's communication skills? That's the main thing, because they're having lots of issues in workplaces because of lack of communication skills. And so that is the main thing they look for now in interviews, is communication skills. So you don't actually have to have any of the qualifications that they are seeking in order for them to hire you. If you have excellent communication skills, they'll hire you, and then they'll just make sure they train you up to have the skills that are needed. Because it's easier to do that than it is to try and train a person in communication skills if they're really bad at communication. And again, it comes back to this whole thing of, like, my view is the right view, and my way of communicating is the right way of communicating, and I'm not going to, and everybody else must adapt around me. And it's like, no. If people aren't understanding you, that is a two-way street. That is an issue with them, and that's an issue with you. So communication involves two people at least, and misunderstanding involves two people. So both of those people have to work to be able to communicate properly with each other. So what you as an individual need to understand is, this person's not understanding me. So how do I need to change my communication so that I'm better getting my point across? And then it's up to them to do the work on their side to try and better communicate with you. And it's you can't have a conversation with somebody who isn't willing to do that. Like, if somebody is not willing to make the effort like you are willing to make the effort to try and better communicate with each other, to better understand each other, then you're never going to understand each other. So I think that's severely lacking in our society now. And I do think the internet has a lot to do with that, because you've got the the automated system sending people adverts of things that they like. And yes, it's good to see things that you like and see things that might be relevant to you, but it's important as human beings that we also see things that we don't agree with, because how can you formulate an opinion about something if you haven't actually interacted with that thing, so that you can learn about the thing, so you can understand how you want to react to that thing. Like, you can't. So that's the thing, is like people's ability to communicate is severely affected, because they're only being sent things that they like. So the systems that are in place are not the right systems, because a bot follows programming, right? Like, as much as people say AI can interpret things, it can't. It follows a program. Like, AI follows a program. If you sit and listen to all the experts on AI when they talk, you know, it's programming. Yes, they can learn slight variations and take information from places, but ultimately it's a program, and it is not intuitive like human beings. So AI will never be able to be intuitive like we are, and it will never be able to help us to fully understand human behavior because it's not human and it's not capable of ever being human. So, you know, AI is helpful in a lot of ways, definitely. And it will, you know, can benefit society and will benefit society in a lot of ways, but it can also, um, you know, affect us in bad ways because it starts to make us think in a very linear form, like a very narrow form, which is part of its programming. But we aren't meant to live like that as human beings. We aren't meant to live in a narrow form of programming. That's not how we function. That's not how our brain functions. So yeah, we learn through experience. That's how that's how our brain works. Our brain works through experience. Um, like I was watching Ferret Software this morning because I like to watch the ferrets play, and it just kind of chills me in the morning, you know, and gets me into like a nice relaxed vibe. And I was watching the ferrets, and somebody asked for a really vague question about some help on characters, and other people were like, "Oh, that's a very vague question," and I'm like, "Well, that's not actually helpful to that person." Because they probably asked the question the way that they could, the best way that they could um, communicate that. And it's about trying to find out what they're communicating, so digging a little bit deeper. And so I asked them more pointed questions to get them to clarify what they were actually looking for. And when I asked the more pointed questions, they were then able to go, oh, okay, actually, this is what I'm looking for. So it's not that they purposefully asked a vague question, they just didn't know what question to ask. And by asking pointed questions to try and whittle down what they were trying to get to, so to help myself understand what they were trying to ask there, I was then able to help them to better understand what they were asking. And then they were then better able to communicate that with the chat. And so chat were then better able to help them answer the question. And yeah, it's that I learned not online, that I learned through social communication with others and trying to communicate with other people and to help myself understand, but help them to better be able to communicate with me to help me understand. So yeah, it's an interesting world we live in. And yeah, I'm glad that I actually grew up before the internet. And I think that the younger generation who have only known life with the internet have been really severely disadvantaged because there's things that they've not learnt that can only be learned through social interaction and dealing with conflict with other people. That's something you cannot learn any other way other than interacting with other human beings and getting into a conflict with them and then learning how to resolve that conflict through better communication. And that's not something you can learn on the internet. I wish it was, but you can't. The only way you can learn that is through interaction with others. I have seen articles about a lot of schools now taking mobile phones, like stopping kids from using mobile phones during school time to force them to interact with each other and to learn to communicate in a social situation and deal with conflict. So they're realizing what they've done to the younger generation and how it's impacting society in general, and they're trying to make positive changes to do better with the next generation, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a really, really good thing. So yeah. And I think, like, as human beings, we need to try and help others to be able to do that. Like, we have to help the younger generation to become better at communicating and to not just, you know, kind of jump to that cancel mindset and to be like, why has this person said it? Like, this is only a snippet of a video that I've seen. What was the whole video? What was the context under which this person said what they said? You know, do I agree with what they said? No, but under the context of what they said, you know, it makes sense that they said what they said and they were expressing their own opinion. Do I agree with their opinion? No. Does that mean that they're a bad person? Not necessarily. It depends on their opinion. And you know, how that affects society and humans. And I think, you know, as long as an opinion doesn't harm another person, you know, like, that you're entitled to your opinion, whether it's a nice opinion or not, as long as it doesn't harm others, then it doesn't matter, right? And we are all individuals, so that's important. Like listening to the music, yeah, decided to play the music today because I was like, yeah, I think because I was going to talk about like my reflection and stuff like that, I thought a little bit of doom and gloom, I thought the music would cheer it up a little bit. Yeah, I do, you know, I'm a big fan of Pirate Software, if you haven't gathered already, because he helped, like, watching his stream helped me through some really dark times, like some really, really dark times, and it helped me kind of remind myself about things that I'd forgotten. I think that's one of the disadvantages of having ADHD, is that my brain can't keep information for a long time. Like, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And that's really frustrating for me, because a lot of times I have to relearn stuff. Like, if I don't do something for a while and I come into it, then, and I've kind of like forgotten it, I have to spend loads of time trying to relearn it. And I'm not talking about like just remind myself, I mean like relearn it. It's not just that my brain puts the information away. It doesn't put it away. It completely deletes it. Like, completely deletes it. Like, everything, it's gone. And I have to relearn it from the beginning. And that's also something that I've recently learned that I didn't know. So that's something like really important that I have learned about myself. And yeah, I mean, ADHD brings a lot of good things to my life. Like, it's the reason why I've had all the different careers I've had. It's the reason why I am curious, you know, my curiosity. I have a lot of curiosity. It's why I do streaming. You know, if I didn't have ADHD, I wouldn't be doing streaming. I wouldn't be as curious about the world as I am. I wouldn't have learnt as much as I have learnt. And my autism has helped me to stay focused on those things that I've learned. Whereas other ADHDs will learn something, like really like hyper focused on it, they'll learn it, but then they'll move on to a different thing and they'll completely forget everything that they've learned about that subject. If my ADHD gets really focused, hyper focused on something, but my autism also gets really like singular focus on it and gets that monotropic, um, focus on that subject. Then actually my autism helps me to remember stuff about that normally I would forget with my ADHD. And my ADHD would get bored and move on, but my autism stays focused on that thing. And it refocuses my ADHD's attention every now and then to hyper focus on that thing. And so that's how I'm able to maintain long-term focus on things, like like my interest in mental health. Um, the reason why I've been able to keep that focus for so long and that interest for so long is because of these two things working together. Same with my interest in manga. It's the same thing. Like reading my manga is consistent. It's predictable for me. But and then like my ADHD brain gets stimulated by the graphics and the drawing and the people in it and the characters and trying to understand the storyline and why the characters are acting the way they are and being really curious about the story. So it has a lot of benefits and it has a lot of downsides as well, and yeah, I'm just learning about those. What kind of music do you guys like? What kind of music do you like to listen to? I'm interested. Oh, it's that emoji, potato life. I love that. I love the potato life emoji. That's funny. Yeah, it's an intriguing question, right? What kind of music do you like listening to? You like country music? Interesting. I do. There's some country singers that I really really like. Some country music that I really like. Um, I usually like the sort of the the sort of guitar, mainly guitar based country music. I like that, and I also like the the sort of the types of songs where you do like barn dancing. That's always something that I just find really fun and cool, like really fun and awesome, and I'd love to do that. Um, Not barn dancing, sorry, line dancing, line dancing. It's called line dancing. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That sounds cool. Yeah, yeah, I really like, and sometimes I like ballady country songs as well. Um, so yeah, country music is cool. I'm really into rock. I love rock. Um, at the moment, I'm like trying to get into a little bit of like different music I've because I play music so much. It's like it's a daily staple for me. I After a while, I'll get bored of my music selection and I'll need to find new music. And so I do go looking for like different types of music as well because I really want to broaden my horizons with regards to music. Um, so I like to look for like different types of music. Mixon says, I like the type of music where vocalist's voice just goes to my heart. Yeah, the type of music that makes my soul wake up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like I know a lot of people like music for the sake of like the actual music, but for me the song has to like hit you in the right place. Perry's are lurking. Um, yeah, it's like it has to. Yeah, absolutely. You had the best way of describing that mix, and like it just makes your soul wake up. I love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. description of it. That's so true. Um, I don't like artists specifically in the sense of like, I won't be like, oh, I like this artist, I'm going to get all their music. I'm more about like, I like this song because it speaks to me, and I like the music that goes with it. Like, I just think this song is absolutely awesome. Um, there's some singers that just always hit it for me, you know, like most of their songs I enjoy because most of their songs, you know, wake my soul up. But yeah, definitely. And I think it's also mood wise as well. Like, I don't know if you guys get that, but depending on my mood, depends on what type of music I like to listen to. So, like, when I'm feeling really low, I actually like to listen to quite depressing music. And they've done studies on this actually, to try and find out whether this is, you know, beneficial to people or not. And actually, they find it helps people who are suffering from depression, especially severe depression, to actually listen to sad music because it makes them feel like somebody's relating to them and makes them feel less alone. And so that can actually help them. Um, yeah, that was quite interesting. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why I like to listen to, you know, sad songs when I'm feeling low. That makes complete sense now. Um, but yeah, like some songs. Have you ever had it where you listen to a song and it literally gives you goosebumps? You know, like your whole body just like goes in goosebumps and you get like a shiver in your body and you're like, holy moly, that like really hit me. like like that was just like amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. I don't know if that's part of like my experience as a you know, autistic and ADHD person, or whether that's an everybody experience. 3 times you had it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like it doesn't happen often, but man, when it happens, oh, it makes you feel alive. Really, like those have been the moments when I've felt the most alive as a human being. Um, it was just, yeah, out of this world experience. It's difficult to explain to others. Um, but yeah, it's quite funny because I've actually had it a lot more recently. Like in the last 2 years, I've had that. No, last 3 years I've had that experience. More than I had in like 5 years. You know, so I find that quite interesting as well. But yeah, I love that. So yeah, so that's me this Sunday reflecting on things, and I need to set up. Um, I've got like a stream deck type thing, but I don't know how to set it up, and I've been avoiding doing it. So I think I'll do that next week. This week sometime, but I'm not going to do that today. Because it will just annoy, you know, I'll just get frustrated easily because I'll be overwhelmed. So I'll leave that tomorrow. But I'm going to do some, you know, some of my diamond painting and have cups of tea. And Miss Stoyler knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about tea and my obsession with tea. Um, and I am going to, what else am I going to do? Yeah, I think I'm just going to chill. Watch streams, have tea, do some diamond painting, and just really take it easy today and not do anything like mentally taxing. So nothing that requires a lot of thinking. And just relax today because I've got to go back to work tomorrow. So I need to be, yeah. And tomorrow I'm probably going to end up having conversations that are going to be as a carry on from last week with the situation I dealt with. So they're probably going to ask me questions about that. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one. But yeah, sometimes it sucks to help people. You know, you're grateful that they came to you and asked you for help, and you're grateful to be able to help them, but sometimes it can take a real emotional toll on you, you know? It's tough. But, you know, if you don't have, if you're, like, it's not, most people wouldn't help in this situation. Like, most people would run away from this kind of situation that I had to deal with. Whereas I just dealt with the situation. Like, and I do credit that to having autism and ADHD. I know that that is the reason why I'm able to have these kinds of conversations with people, and why they feel able to have these kinds of conversations with me, and why I can stay calm and I can help and support them and not feel their emotions straight away. That's a really good thing about my ADHD, is that I can push down my emotions. I don't feel my emotions in that moment, but it comes and bites me in the ass later, and that's what I forget. Like, I forget that it comes and bites me in the butt later on. So that's what I need to do. I need to be like, okay, this was an emotionally, like, really emotional situation that I dealt with, that I helped someone through, and, you know, I feel amazing because I helped them, but I'm also going to feel the impact of that, you know, because that is like, that's a lot of pressure for somebody to have, you know. For any one person to carry that kind of pressure it's immense. So, you know, I'm capable of doing it, but I need to understand that it has an impact on me. Because I'm a very empathetic person, I feel people's emotions. So when it's a really emotionally charged conversation, I feel all of their emotions with them in that moment, and I'm able to help and support them as a result of that, and push my own emotions aside to do that. And that's important, and it matters, and it saves lives. But afterwards is when the impact hits me, and I need to be more aware of that, and do things to counteract that as much as I can, to you know, so that when it happens, it's you know, it's like, oh, okay, you know, I'm having this moment, this emotional moment, but this is understandable because, you know, I dealt with this situation, and it's important that I have this moment, and we process these emotions, we feel them, and you know, we do what we need to do to sort of support ourselves emotionally. So yeah, so that's what I need to learn to do, so that I don't burn out. But yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to help that person. Yeah, life can be really tough sometimes for people, and I think sometimes people can be so focused on themselves that they forget that, like, other people might have much bigger struggles than we do. And so yeah, it's important to remember that, and be compassionate and empathetic when somebody is struggling, because you might be surprised by how that conversation goes and what they tell you. You know, every time I've had a really one of these kinds of conversations with someone, you know, and I've had a few, because as a mental health first aider, you are trained to deal with these kinds of conversations. and you train to notice when like during the conversation, when you're having this type of conversation, and you know what questions to ask as well, which a lot of people would never ask, but you know is important in that moment to ask, because that gives you clarification of the seriousness of the situation and timeline that you have to deal with. So yeah, so but it's like when you have those kinds of conversations, yeah, it's difficult. So yeah, but I'm glad that I had that conversation with that person. Like I don't ever regret these kinds of conversations. I never regret this type of conversation, because every time I've had this type of conversation with the person, they have lived as a result. So I count that as a win. Like everything that like the stuff that I suffer as a result of supporting that person in the way that I have to support them in that moment is worth it, because it saved their life. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but yeah. So yeah, so that was my week last week. Which I didn't emotionally deal with, and so it's come to bite me in the ass this weekend. So I need to get better at emotionally processing stuff, which again is one of the things I'm learning to do. Which does not come naturally to somebody with autism. So yeah. But yeah, it's so I'm just gonna have a chill day today, as a self-care day, and just do like things that aren't cognitively loaded, like things that are very simple for my brain to do and doesn't require a lot of thinking, and just do that and just chillax for the rest of the day, and eat lots of chocolate. Because chocolate solves all problems, chat. Chocolate solves all problems. And I'm going to make myself something nice to eat as well, I think. When you make a nice meal, there's just something really comforting about that. That really just like, yeah, something nice. Comfort food, comfort chocolate, comfort drink. I think I'm going to have a nice hot chocolate drink. Maybe a milkshake later. Yeah, and just like have loads of a snacky day. And yeah, I need to get better at using my fidget toys as well. I've been not doing that this week, and I need to make sure I'm doing that. I need to remember that there's a reason why I stim, and I need to be making sure that I am stimming. Yeah, so sometimes I forget again, because this is stuff that I've recently been learning, and so it's going to take a long time for it to become a real habit that I do without thinking. So yeah, but my current diamond painting is a is it turtle or tortoise? I can never remember. I know that one is on land, the other one is in the sea. But I can never remember which one it is. Is it a turtle that's on land, or is it a tortoise that's on land? I can never remember the difference between the two, but it's the one in the sea anyway, whichever one it's called, the one in the sea. I've got only a few more pieces, diamond pieces that I need to put in, so I'm going to do that. And I don't know what other creative things. I might do some drawing. I don't know. I will see. I will see. I will see. I might just watch streams and. Oh, actually, I might do some scratch art today. That's a really nice and mind-numbing thing. Activity to do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some scratch art. That sounds good. I'm happy about that. So what are you guys gonna do today? What are you getting up to on your Sunday? What are your plans? Oh, I find a new. I saw somebody playing actually a new game. What was it called? It was very interesting. I was watching them on Twitch while they were playing it. Look, because I saved it on my Steam account. Let me have a look what it was called again. Oh, Melatonin. That's it. It's a game called Melatonin. Very intriguing game. So that's on my wish list to get to play on stream, because I thought that was quite a different game. I might actually do a game search and just have a look at different games that are on at the moment, like different games that are out there, and put a few more on my list of things to play. But they, they're so pricey, though, games. Are you going to sleep? Oh. Oh, I hope you have a good sleep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna search some new games, see what's out there. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a visual novel fest on Steam. Yeah, I didn't know what I thought I knew what a visual novel is, but I clearly had no idea what a visual novel was. But I was checking it out this morning, and I was like, oh, so that's what a visual novel is. And so I haven't interacted with visual novels, but I think the concept's pretty cool. So from what I understand, I don't know if I'm misunderstanding this, but from what I understand, a visual novel is basically a manga that they do into like a mini video. So you can read the manga, but it's like in a video format. So it's a little bit more interactive than reading it on a page with nothing moving. It's like the pictures move slightly, the characters' pictures move while the text is going on. So you still read the text, and you can listen to some like a lot of them have like music in the background. So they have music playing, and you have the character pictures moving, and you have the text there, so you read the text. So it's like reading a book, but it's like a moving book. It's so freaking cool. They don't have, though, I didn't see very many options. They're quite pricey, like I have to say. Like, I didn't think they would be as pricey as they are, but I understand why though, now that I think about it, because it's obviously doing the doing the art, and then making it animated. That obviously takes a lot of time and work, and probably costs money as well for getting programs to do that. So I'm not surprised that they are that cost money, but I do wish that they would make some more affordable for people like me who don't have that kind of money to spend. That would be nice. Or just to make it maybe, some like available to streamers that streamers can stream for free, and just do like, drop kind of like what we do with the games and things. Well, I mean, some games you can get for free, but some games you don't. Depends on whether they're being, what do you call it? What's the word? Sponsored. If they're not being sponsored, you have to buy the games yourself. But if you're being sponsored, then you don't. Usually. So yeah, it would be nice if they made it possible to do that with the visual novels, because I would love to do that on stream. Like, have a visual novel stream. That would be quite interesting and cool, I think. Something different, isn't it? But I can't afford to buy these things, so not at the moment anyway. So yeah, so they'll have to see, or keep an eye on it, and watch it and see what happens. And if a sponsorship comes up for that, I'll definitely do it, because it's just something different. So yeah, I haven't done any sponsorship things yet. I've bought all the games that I've played so far. Well, obviously not Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy is free until you get to level 70. But the others I pay for, so yeah. So some new games will have to wait. Watch out for scam ads. What do you mean scam ads? Mixon, when you're talking about scam ads, are you talking about like ads that are showing while I'm streaming? Because I don't think any ads show at the moment if you're not affiliated, if you're not an affiliate. An affiliate. I don't know. Oh, scam sponsors, really? Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. It's like, because I was looking at Stream Elements. Is that going through Stream Elements, because they've got like sponsorships on Stream Elements. I don't know if that's legitimate or not. But yeah, that's helpful to tell me that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's helpful to know. But they are scam sponsors. That's cheeky. Because like, we're just trying to create awareness about things, and create communities, and play games, and have fun, and do art and that kind of stuff. And you have people taking advantage of that. That's not cool. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just life, isn't it? Sponsor streamers for advertisements of products or services that are a scam. Oh, okay. Well, if you know of any places like that I need to avoid, please do let me know. You can just send me a whisper of the names of the organizations if you don't want to put it on chat. But if you want to put it on chat, you can put it on chat as well. But yeah, I'll take that into account. That's why I was thinking about going through something like Stream Elements initially, and then yeah, if I ever do get to a point where I'm got companies approaching me for sponsorships, I think I would go through an agency. I don't think I would yeah, I suppose it's because you're a small stream, like I'm a small streamer, that people might try to take advantage in that way. Yeah, that's true. because a lot of streamers are desperate to get to affiliates or desperate to make money. Luckily, I'm not doing streaming to make money because I know that these kinds of things take long, and I know that you don't necessarily make money. Like my YouTube channel doesn't make any money at all. I make nothing out of that. So I don't, I don't do these kinds of things to make money. I mean, it's helpful to be able to make extra money so I can pay bills and stuff, but it's not the real reason why I'm doing it. The real reason why I do this is because I want to help others, but I need to do it in a way that's easier for me, and that's like engaging for me as well. And so I find streaming is a really good way of doing that. You should check out right now. They have a $10 charity bundle that has like 40 plus gems, 400 plus games. Check out. Okay, so it's asterisked out the thing because you can't send me links through my chat. So if you put it on Discord, if you pop the link on Discord, I'll have a look. Storyline. But you're supposed to be going to sleep. Go to sleep. Itch.io. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll have a look. Because I know that you can like sign up to Prime and then you pay like a monthly payment and then you can get access to a certain amount of games. It's 4 a.m. It's too late. No! Is it my fault? Did I keep you up? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should you shouldn't have listened to me. You should have gone to sleep. I'm sorry if I kept you up. But yeah. So I do the streaming because I want to help people, but I needed to find a way to help people in a way that works for me as well. And I think this is a really good way of doing it. And I was actually speaking to my brother about the plans that I have for this channel, and and he thinks it's a really a good idea. He thinks it's quite interesting what I'm thinking and planning. So so I'm really looking forward to the sort of plans that I have, and and I don't care even if I've only got one person watching, that's one person that I might be helping, and so I really like that. And I like the freedom that it gives me as well. Like streaming gives me a lot of freedom to just do what I want. There's obviously a lot I need to work on, but I'm still learning about streaming. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do things wrong, and I'm going to learn from that. And I'll probably make mistakes even if I've learned from it, because sometimes I lose focus because my ADHD, and so I need to be okay with that. But yeah, eventually, like if I start to do this more regularly, then I'm gonna need some people to help me with like the admin side of things, because it's gonna start getting too much for me. Like I can do it now because I'm doing it every now and then. But if I want to become more consistent with things and get myself out more on social media and stuff like that, I'm gonna need help with that. I'm going to need like people to help me to do my social media accounts and set things up, and so it's not something I can do anytime soon, because that would require hiring people and all of that jazz. No, I was trying to use the stream to sleep because pretty calm voice. Ah, thank you. And then I spoke about all that depressing stuff, and that's probably what stopped you from sleeping. Apologies for that. If it triggered anything, I do apologize. Um, but I felt it was an important conversation to have, and so, and also I need to speak about it because sometimes when I speak out loud about stuff, it helps me understand it. So yeah, and hopefully by doing that, it's maybe helped others. But yeah, I'll definitely have a look. But yeah, any links you guys want to send me, just pop it on the Discord and I'll check it out. The reason why I've stopped links on the chat is because sometimes people send malicious links and I don't want my chat to be victim to a malicious link. So I want to check out links, and then if they, valid, I'll let them stay on our Discord and you can just get them off the Discord. So for anybody who isn't on Discord, let me just do the command, the Discord command. So exclamation point Discord. The link to the Discord is here, so you can just click on it and it will take you to our Discord and you can join there, and yeah, and just anything you want to share. There's loads of different sections. Don't feel that you have to be part of every section. Just mute the channels that you don't want to be a part of and just keep the ones that you do want to be a part of active. Yeah, it's just a place for if you guys want to chat with each other or share links or ideas or support, or just want to chat generally about stuff, you can do that. And it's a place where I'll, like I put like links to channels that I like to watch that I think are good, and like mental health support links and things like that. And also, if I've set it up correctly, my Discord should alert all the people on Discord when I am streaming, and it should show that I'm streaming on Discord. I don't know if it is doing that. I think it is. But yeah, I did set up it's up to do that, so hopefully it is, which I think is very helpful, just to let you guys know. And yeah, so if there's anything you do want to see on the Discord channel, let me know. If there's a channel you want me to add, and I'll add it for you guys. But I did create a lot of different channels, so there's a lot of variation there, so that people can just pick and choose. Yeah, just let me know if there's anything else you want in there. And if you want to message me as well, you can also use Discord to do that. That is a possibility as well. But yeah, just pop links on there and I'll check the links, and if there's any malicious links, I'll get rid of them. And yeah, but it's only me mainly at the moment doing things. I do have some Discord moderators, but at the moment it's just me mainly doing the moderation, simply because there's just not enough people, I think, on Discord at the moment to require everybody to be, my moderators to be doing a lot of work for me. So yeah, so at the moment I'm just moderating it myself, and then when things get a little bit busier and the community becomes a bit bigger, then my moderators can help and become more active. But yeah, if any of you guys would like to be moderators, let me know. I can't pay you, so it'd have to be free, it'd have to be voluntary, but yeah, any help would be appreciated. But just you guys watching this stream is really enough, actually. So thank you so much for spending time with me and listening to me ramble on about random stuff. And yeah, and chatting to me, because it really helps me as well. Like, talking to you guys helps me. So this channel's not just about helping you guys, it's about helping me as well, because it helps me to sort of sort things out in my own life, and it also helps to get different viewpoints as well about things from people that are outside of my closer knit sort of environment, to get like outside perspectives on things. Because I think sometimes, because most of the people I interact with are autistic and have ADHD, or just have ADHD, not autism, like we have a lot of like issues in our sort of like the way that we communicate with each other, that we don't necessarily wouldn't necessarily happen in other groups, or sometimes we miss viewpoints that would actually be helpful to us, like from a normative perspective. So it's helpful to have that as well. I have no idea like whether you guys are neurodivergent or not, and you don't have to divulge that if you don't want to. But yeah, it's nice to like get outside perspectives, even no matter what kind of neurodiversity a person comes from. So yeah, so thank you very much for listening to me ramble and giving your viewpoints and things. I really do appreciate it. And I've got my little, okay, getting my little penguin teddy that I'm cuddling now. I want to get like a little, like a little mascot type thing. I've got this penguin teddy which has like a bee outfit. So a penguin wearing a bee outfit, and I think it's so freaking cute. I love it to death. And yeah, I was thinking of like making something similar to that as a mascot. I don't know what you guys think. Is something that you would like to see? And also, I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm aiming to have three VTubing VTubers like personas on my channel. So it's obviously me, Kitty Candy. You've met Asana, the white fox, and we'll be having our third one at some point in the next few months, and she's been called Storm, so her name is Storm, and she's going to be a butterfly because she's a really like charismatic, boisterous, colorful person. And well, butterfly. She's a really colorful butterfly. So yeah, she's very curious about things. She's can be seen as quite scatterbrained, but is actually quite intelligent. And yeah, and so she will be coming soon to join us on stream and take over some of my streams, which will be quite interesting to see. So that's something to look forward to. So it will be myself, Asana, and Storm. I don't know, do you like the name Storm? I think it's pretty cool because she's kind of like a storm. She blows in like a storm and kind of blows out sometimes like a storm. And butterflies, there's a saying that when a butterfly flaps its wings, then I think is it a hurricane or an earthquake happens on a different side of the world. So that's why I kind of went for Storm as her name. So yeah, so she'll be joining us in the next few months. And she's different from me and Asana. She's actually a 3D person. Well, butterfly. She's a 3D butterfly. So she can turn around completely. She can do 360. So, yeah. So if she gets angry, she can turn her back on you. And she can, you know, fly her wings, obviously, with her wings. So, yeah, her wings move and she can fly and she can turn around in circles. And yeah, she's a 3D butterfly. So that should be quite interesting. I wanted to sort of play around with 3D to yeah, to see what it's like. Why did I get a... Why is my phone vibrating? Yeah, my sister's trying to call me. She certainly has timing. Bless her, shame. She probably thinks this is the best time to phone me, and specifically chose this time to phone me because she thought I would be available. But I need to make her aware that I'm streaming at this time on Sundays from now, you know, as like a standard thing, so she knows. Says I got like a friend request. Where was that friend request? Stoiler, was that you trying to do a friend request on Discord? No, I don't know where that was then. Let me check. So I created different sort of chats, but do you guys want like a general chat channel on Discord, by the way? Because I don't think I've created that. Oh no, I have created general chat. My mistake. I did create that. Okay, I don't know why it says Steam. Ah, okay, Steam. Yeah, because I saw it pop up and I was like, where's that coming from? Where do I find that? Like when you... Okay, hang on. Friends and chat in the right hand corner. Ah, there you go. Found it. Okay. There you go. Right. That's all sorted, Stoiler. Right. Yeah, so what do you guys think of a penguin wearing a bee suit as a mascot? And keep an eye out for Storm. She'll be coming in the next few months. And yeah, and if you have any sort of suggestions for Discord that you'd like me to implement, just let me know. With regards to WoW, I am part of a guild already, but I can create a like in the future, if WoW is a game that I keep playing, then I can eventually think about maybe creating a guild for us to play in. If you guys are interested in playing, you know, if you want to play sort of in a guild with me, I don't know. So that's something that could happen in the future as well. Same with Final Fantasy. If I think I will keep playing Final Fantasy, to be honest, because I am enjoying it. and it's free. So that's kind of the decider, is that it's free. It's not costing me anything, whereas WoW is. So yeah, Final Fantasy. I'll definitely keep playing. I can't create a guild yet, like, because you can't do that as part of the free. But if I have enough of chat who want to, play Final Fantasy with me and want me to create a guild, then I will think about starting to pay for Final Fantasy and do that. Because you can play together without a guild, but it's a little bit difficult because you can't see each other. So I was playing with my friend last night, and while it was fun playing with them, it was difficult for us to keep together because we move at different paces, and I can't keep track of them, so I don't know where they are unless they tell me. Which is quite tricky. Whereas apparently, if you're part of a party together, then you can like know where each other is, and that makes things a lot easier. Because it was difficult for them as well, because they had to communicate with me where they were all the time, and that must have been quite a cognitive load on them. So yeah. So like, if you guys are interested, let me know, and then at a later stage we'll create I'll pay for Final Fantasy and we'll create a guild, and we can play together and stuff on there. I have signed on to something completely weird and different. So I don't know if you guys have seen a streamer called Code Miko, but she's completely out there. She is a weird person. But I like weird sometimes. Like, my brain sometimes, my ADHD brain is like, this is so freaking awesome and cool. And she does like loads of like she has a 3D character, and she's like, there's so much stuff with 3D. It's amazing. And she's created like an online like world, a 3D world. And so I want to go and see what that's like, because I think that's so different and, like, so interesting for my brain. So yeah, so that's something I want to go into, but she's very offensive. So, like that's what her stream is about. Like, people can just say offensive stuff and, sexist stuff and loads of like stuff like that. So yeah, so it's yeah, not wholesome like here. Although sometimes she does talk about really serious topics. The one she spoke about bullying, and the impact that it had on her and stuff like that. So that was a very serious conversation, which was very good to see that she can do serious content as well. But yeah, I'd like to because she's got it up for free at the moment, because it's like a beta version type thing. She's trialing it, so she's got it like a demo on for free. So I'd like to go and explore that, and I don't know if you guys want me to do that on stream or not, but I think probably I should do it not on stream initially. Just to see like how bad it is in the offensive bracket. To see if it's safe to stream. Yeah, but yeah, that's I'm curious about like what she's doing there. She did do a stream of one of the worlds that she created, which was like an alien planet. So yeah, where the plants try and kill you, basically. And yeah, that's definitely not a planet I'm going to show on chat. Yeah, so it's but I'm just thinking of like ideas of like different things that we can do. things that we can explore, just to challenge ourselves a bit and like to think out of the side of the box. But I also don't want to create a community that is toxic or negative. You know, like that's not what I aim to do. So I've got to be careful about what I do show on stream. Because you can learn a lot from like toxic, you know, environments, but you've got to have a specific mindset to do that, and you've got to be in a specific place mentally to do that. And you've got to be able to do it in small bursts, and you got to go to it from the perspective of, I want, like, this is a toxic community and I want to better understand what they're talking about, but I don't want to become a part of that community. So yeah, so you got to be careful about that kind of thing. But yeah, it's, oh, we got a stream bot. Hang on, let me just deal with it. Let me just ban this guy. Ban. Okay, now I need to report that later. Boom. Yeah, I get these ones a lot. These sort of like tries to get you to go to a link. You see, this is why I've got the links blocked. So that you guys don't accidentally, you know, somebody who's new in chat accidentally clicks on the link thinking that I've provided it where I haven't. How do I get this window to go away? Ugh, it's annoying. It's not going away. No, I don't want to do that. How do I get this thing to go away? I think it's a glitch. Ah, there. Okay, move that. There, so I can see chat. Yeah, there's a lot of that. It happens a lot. It happens a lot on my stream. Probably, I think it's probably almost every stream that I have, I'll have one of these bots come on my stream. So what I do is I ban it initially while I'm on with you guys, and then later on I'll go on and I'll report it to Twitch. So it's very important not just to ban them, but to report it to Twitch, because then Twitch will ban the account rather than, you know, because me, all I'm doing is banning the account from my stream, but it can go onto other streams and affect, you know, other streams' communities. Whereas if I ban it here and then I report it to Twitch, Twitch will ban the actual account, so it can't go onto other streams and, you know, affect them negatively. So that's what I always do. I go and report them to Twitch, and Twitch is very fast on it, usually within like a couple of minutes or minimum an hour of me reporting it. They'll send me a message saying that they've banned the account. So they are very good with this kind of thing. If you report it, they don't automatically pick up these things because they just don't have the ability to do that. So it's up to us to keep our community clean by reporting these things to them. So yeah, so I do that. Do my little bit for Twitch because, you know, I think it's a good platform. So yeah. So that's me really. Nothing else really to talk about other than that. Do you guys have anything that you'd like to talk about? And you'd like to start a conversation, or just mention a random topic title and then we can have a conversation about that. I'm just gonna lip trill for it, just a warning for anybody. helps with my voice when my voice gets a little bit raspy. It's one of my stims that I do. I only realized now that this little fox looks very similar to Asana. I bet she'll have some opinions about it. I'll let her stream at some point with this picture. I'm sure that she'll have a lot to say to this other fox. And this is a red fox. She doesn't actually like red foxes that much. But this looks like a really friendly red fox, so I'm sure she'll be alright with it. It's got a little bit white on its tail. So like a little tuft of white. Oh, something binged. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I decided to change my background scenery today. Do a little bit of a different one. And I've got a few pictures that I can go through as background scenes, so I'd like to rotate them a little bit more often. Getting little cuts from a penguin. I'd like to get like a drawn version of the penguin that I can add to my character, like arms holding the penguin. So when I have days when I just want to cuddle something soft, I won't have the game thingy, because some people have commented on the fact that I've got the game console in my hands when I'm just chatting. So I want to be able to like change what I'm holding. But at the moment, the problem is that when I created this character in the program that I created it in, the program malfunctioned and it saved a copy for me, but it didn't save on the actual program. So I can't go back and edit the specific model that I made. So I would have to remake the model as closely as I can to this current model. And then I would have to make sure that's saved on the program to then be able to change positions and expressions. And that's a lot of work, which I just don't have the bandwidth to do at the moment. So that will come in the future. But eventually I want it to be myself to be like uniquely designed. So yeah, I will not use those other model programs, and will have my own model created so that I can customize it as I want. You know, like, so I'd like get somebody to draw it for me, and you know, have them create different sort of hairstyles that I can wear on different days when I feel like changing my hair, and getting, you know, different outfits and different hand positions, different expressions, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's expensive. I've been looking at it, and it's like, it's really expensive to get somebody to design a VTube character for you. It's like, you know, thousands, like for the really good art, the really sort of ones that are that you see a lot of. You know, the very detailed ones. Simple ones are a couple of hundred, but even so, that's a lot of money to pay. So I'm just going to have to be settled on this one for the moment. And yeah, hopefully in the future I'll be able to afford to get a custom one made. We shall see what the future holds. And yeah, I think I've spoken about all my ideas for streaming. What else can we talk about? What is your favorite animal? Maybe I need to be more specific. What is your favorite mammal? So like on land animal. Mine is lion. I absolutely and utterly love lions. I have always loved them. And I just think they're the most majestic, beautiful animals. And they're mischievous, which is kind of like me. And so I think if I got reincarnated into any animal, I would be reincarnated into a lion. Because they are cool. And they're like family-based animals, which is very much like me as well. Like I love my family. I'm very close to my family. And you know, they're very much a community-based animal, which I like as well. I like community. I can't spend much time in community in person because it's too much for me, but I do like community. And I think this is where internet is really good, because it helps people like me who can't physically be around, you know, a lot of people, but still wants to be able to interact with a community. And places like Twitch really enable you to do that, where, you know, you can chat with people and have that sort of sense of a bit of community, but you don't have that pressure of the face-to-face contact, of trying to read the person's expression, of, you know, trying to read their body language, you know, trying to understand when you can talk and when you should talk and when you shouldn't talk, you know, that kind of stuff. I find that with places like this, you can just, you know, talk however you want to talk. And it's nice because, like, I feel like, you know, when the streamer is talking about something and you type a message, you're not interrupting them talking, because they're on their conversation, they're talking, they're saying what they need to say or want to say, but you're able to get that thought out onto, like, you know, say your thought before you lose it, and then they can choose to read that and respond to it or not, depending on the situation and you know, how busy their chat is and what the conversations have been about and all of that sort of stuff, which I really like about this platform. So I'm like, as soon as you know, I want to say something, I can immediately pop it in a message, but I know that I'm not disrupting the streamer, because the streamer is talking and they're not going to look at the message until they have a moment to look at the message. So I feel like I can just say what I want to when I want to say it, and I don't feel like I've stepped on anyone's toes or been like rude. But then vice versa, I'm very direct in my messages, same as I am in real life, and that can come over as quite aggressive sometimes, can be interpreted as quite aggressive to people. So that's why I said, like, I really do prefer emojis and GIFs. So most of the time when I'm on chats with other channels, I will usually do emojis. That's most of the way I will communicate on that is through emojis. Because then I know for definite nobody's gonna misinterpret that. Like, everybody understands emojis. At least I hope everybody understands emojis. So yeah, and I think also emojis are more dyslexic friendly as well. Like I feel like emojis are more accessible to a lot of people. I think the thing that they need to do is make like an audio description of emojis so that they can be described to people who are visually impaired. And then I think, you know, once they do that kind of stuff, I don't know if they do that kind of stuff, then I think emojis are like accessible to pretty much everybody, really, which would be good. This is very rare that you find a communication resources that is effective with everyone. So I think that's very cool. But yeah, I don't know where you get your little bird emojis from. Where do you get them from, Miss Stoyler? Where do you get those emojis from? Because they're so cute. And Vermo as well. Where did you get your emoji from? It's very cute. I like it. I like the facial expression. It's funny. That's me sometimes when I'm trying to understand people. I get that expression on my face. A streamer called Point Crow. Okay, I'll check them out. Point Crow. Yeah, if you guys know about any streamers that you'd like me to check out, please feel free to let me know, and I'll go and check them out. See if I like them, because I'm trying to come up with like a list of people that I can raid, and like I want a varied collection of people that I can raid. So I want to find like streamers that you guys like as well, that I think are okay to raid. So yeah, so if you do have streamers that you enjoy watching, do let me know. Just writing down Point Crow. Okay, I'll check them out. So yeah, because I have found that there's some streamers that I've liked, and then because like I've liked the one stream that I saw them on, and then I watch them on a different stream, and then they're like really offensive, and I'm like, oh. Unfollow that person. Yeah, it's a lot of it's hit and miss, especially with VTubers. I find that like there's a lot of VTubers that sexualize their characters, and I don't like that. Like for me personally, I don't like that. Like, you know, that's cool for them to do that. Like, good on them for doing, you know, what they enjoy, but it's not what I want to do with, you know, in VTubing. You know, I don't want to sexualize my characters. I want them to be more, you know, interactable, more conversational, more relatable to everyday struggles, you know. So like Asana is a representation of my autism. Storm is going to be a representation of my ADHD. and then you've got Candy, who's a representation of the combination of the two. Um, and so I want to kind of use it to like educate people on what I want to try and make autism relatable and ADHD relatable in a way that people can understand. And I do feel that like autism is portrayed a lot negatively. And also like a lot of times it's only like the typical version of autism that's displayed, you know, the one that you see in most people, like most males typically. But I wanted to portray it in a way, you know, with people who have it in a like a different. It's more subtle, like it's much more subtle in me than in most other people, I think, in a lot of ways, and my ADHD as well. So like the ADHD community can't really, you know, recognize that I have ADHD because of my autism, and then vice versa. So I kind of feel like I'm not a part of either community in a way. Like I kind of feel like I'm in this like middle ground, no man's land. Like the not all the ADHD content relates to me, not all the autism content relates to me. Like some does, some doesn't. And yeah, there's not a lot around like the combination of the two. And so I kind of wanted to show that, but I also wanted to show the subtlety of it, not the you know, the sort of the common extreme versions that people know about. Like I want to show off the subtle the nuances of having these, and how they can interact with each other, but how they can also make you interact with the world, and how they can also get at odds with one another. But it's quite subtle, it's not massive. So yeah, so that's what I'm hoping to do, but we shall see. Since you were talking about music earlier, you should check out Venus World. She's a UK streamer as well, and her music has given me chills before. Okay, I'll check her out. Adding that to the list. Venus World. Yeah, because I'm trying to find more VTubers, because I do watch normal streamers a lot. Like I've got a lot of normal streamers that I follow, but I'd like to find more VTubers to follow specifically, and you know, in different genres like art, just chatting, games, music, all of that sort of stuff. So get a quite varied portfolio of what they're doing, and also just to kind of like see the ideas that people come up with, and see if those kind of stream ideas are something that I would like to try out on stream. And yeah, it just gives me sort of ideas for the future, which will be very helpful, because at the moment I'm just kind of winging it. If you haven't noticed. But I would like to get more structure, because my autism is really struggling with the fact that I haven't got a lot of structure with this. So I do want to like do specific dates that I set out for a specific stream, like of a specific game, or you know, like activity that I want to do, and I plan that, you know, a couple of months in advance. And do like maybe like a 6-month or a year's planning ahead of that, so that my autism brain has time to process what's going to happen, and then you know, get used to that idea before it then happens, and has the you know, at least a little bit of consistency. But I don't want to have a completely consistent schedule, because I don't want to force myself into a box of having to do streams when I'm not in a place mentally to do them. And also I want to give my autism some freedom to be able to play around with things. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of the compromise I'm coming up with, which is I'm not going to have like a fixed weekly schedule. I'm going to have a fixed um like a semi-fixed schedule on a 6 monthly to yearly basis, where there will be some streams that will be fixed and we'll know they're coming and they'll be planned, but then there'll be lots of others. There'll be other streams in between that will just happen, and we'll wing it and we'll do what we want, what we're in the mood for on that day, kind of thing, and go with that. So you've got some spontaneity, but you've also got some structure. So I think that's the best way I can think of to find that balance. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Whether it will work or not, I don't know. But I know that obviously consistency is something that will help my channel grow. But at the same time, I have to understand that that's not something I'm capable of. Like, I'm not capable of consistency the way other people do consistency. Like, I can't do that. So I have to kind of find the middle ground. So hopefully it works. We shall see. What else? Yeah. In the year ahead, I want to also get a better setup of my computer and stuff like that, because at the moment I'm sitting on my sofa with my long picnic table, which has got the hole in it, and it's too low down, so I'm having to lean forward and down in order to do it. My arm's not supported as well, so it hurts. It's hurting my arm when I do the mouse for a long time. And I'm using my TV screen as my computer screen because I don't actually have a computer monitor screen. So yeah, there's a lot that I need to do with my setup to get that like permanently set up, because at the moment I'm taking things down, putting things back up again, and it's just a bit of a disaster. So I want to get that more consistent as well. But yeah, but at the moment I'm doing like I rent, like when I go and like visit my family, I rent my place out to get money, to get extra money. And I need it because I don't make enough of a salary for me to pay certain bills without doing this. So I have to keep my place in a certain, looking a certain way for that. So I can't put a permanent setup up until I can stop renting out my place. So the permanent setup won't happen until I start making enough money to cover that financial hole. And then once I do that, then I'll be able to do a permanent setup and have multiple screens and get it properly all set up, so that all I need to do is just sit in my chair by my desk and start the stream, switch everything on and start the stream, and I don't have to get everything out and plug it all in and reprogram it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so that's something that I'm working towards as well. But it's hard because obviously with things as I am now, I can't work any more days. I just can't. There's just no way that I can do it, and that means I have to financially suffer a bit. So that's how it is. But hopefully things will get better in the future. And yeah, hopefully I'll get sponsorships for my channel and stuff like that, which will help. But I don't expect that to happen anytime soon, so that'll be a long journey before I get to that point, I think. But yeah, I'm waiting to get my second assessment and diagnosis before I start trying to apply for financial help. Which might help to fill that gap. But we shall see. It depends. So yeah, still a long journey, long journey ahead. And yeah, I'm still contending with my mom's estate. That's still an issue. Oh God. I think, I can't remember when I was looking, but the other day I was looking and it's like 4 years since my mom died. I think it is, if I calculated it correctly. It's been 4 years since she died. So it's been a 4-year battle with lawyers and court and all this stuff to get her estate settled. We won't get any, like I might get like £100 to £300 out of that, but you know, it's not going to be much money, and it's been like a 4-year battle. But you know, we kind of chose it because we could have just let things go and just been like, take the loss, and let the person get away with what they were trying to do. But because they had done what they did to my mom before she died, and because we are principled people, unfortunately our principles won. Our sense of integrity won over our laziness, basically. And yeah, we chose to fight for what was right. And we knew we wouldn't get any money, any money worth talking about out of it, but it wasn't about the money. It was about the fact of what this person did to my mom. And yeah, we just didn't want to let this person get away with that. So yeah, being principled is fucking hard. It is fucking hard. It's taken a real toll. This whole process has taken a real toll on me, and my family. But that's what having principles does sometimes. When you're fighting for your integrity and your principles, sometimes it's fucking hard. But you have to do it because you can't compromise your integrity. It's worth more going through the struggle to fight for your integrity than it is to lose your integrity sometimes. And so that's why I did it. I don't know why the rest of my family did it, but that's why I did it. And I do not regret it. I don't regret it. Because of the reasons why I did it. But yeah, it's taken a toll, so I will be glad as anything when it's done. And it's really near the end right now. It's literally, we're at the finish line. We're about to step over. And yeah, and once that step is taken, then it's the end of all that. So I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. Sorry, there's a lot of swear words that are coming out here, but it needed to be expressed. Sometimes you just need to express yourself in swear words, and it's actually good for your mental health. They've actually scientifically proven that. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully that will end in the next few months, and we'll be done and dusted with that. And that's one less stress on me that's been sitting on me for 4 years. That's been a major stress for me. So yeah, so I'll be glad when that's done. So yeah, so now I have more bandwidth to do other things like, you know, helping myself more, like looking at more for like how can I help myself financially, and yeah, and looking at ways of monetizing what I am currently doing, um, and things like that. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see what happens in the future. Lots of plans, but there's only one me, and there's only so much I can do as one person. So you know, I've got to do the best that I can, but again, I've got to understand my limitations, that I am only one person, and I'm not capable of astronomical feats like I think I am. You know, my brain always thinks I can do way more than I can actually do. And my body is like, please, I can't do this anymore. And my body screams at me and shouts and tries to communicate, and my brain just doesn't listen. So I need to become more proactive in listening to my body and what it's communicating with me, and understanding that my body is just, you know, doing the best it can, and it's being overwhelmed a lot, and it needs the brain to listen to it. So yeah, so those are the things that I've been thinking and mulling over, and yeah, so I thought I'd chat about that today, and hopefully it has been helpful to somebody. If not, that's okay too. Okay, so it has been 2.5 hours, and like I said, today's a self-care day, so I'm going to end the stream, and I am going to do some self-care stuff, and I hope that you guys do the same. I hope you guys do some self-care and prioritize your well-being, and just really take time out to do something good for yourself. And I look forward to chatting to you guys again soon. Do you guys want to do a raid, or shall we just leave the raid for today? You choose. Yeah, you want to do a raid? Okay, let me look at who we can raid. If you want, if there's anybody you specifically would like to raid, let me know. Let's have a look. Raid. Following. Shall we raid the ferrets for some wholesomeness? Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. Yeah, let's get some cute little ferret wholesomeness to end on a good note. Let's raid them. Oh, look, they're out and about as well. Oh, look at the little cuties. There's a few of them out and they're playing together. So cute. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, right now, pressing the button. Bye, everyone.